Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit, finish model kit, start a new model kit, and of course, to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, and the Tier 2 Blue emote. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes, or you could be a lurker and just hang out. If that is also okay. And I said if you're not currently a subscriber or yet a subscriber, it is September still, and you can save money on subs. I'm 99% sure that's still true. I'll go and take a quick gander here as I say hi to Lashbrook and John. Welcome, both of you. Happy to have you here. Let me see. Yeah, I believe this is still, yes. September is going till the 30th of this month, so you can still save money on a new subscription. And it is not just a kink thing, as John says. Yes, quite right. It's also a way to save money, if that's something you're into. If you're not into it, you don't want to save money, that's okay. You don't have to. But yeah, hello. It's Saturday night. I got my booster shot yesterday. And then, look, is the reason that I took a sudden, unexpected nap today part because of the booster shot yesterday? Perhaps. Is it because I was up late last night dicking around on YouTube? Also possible. Is it because I mowed the backyard and I do have grass and pollen allergies? That's also probably a big part of it. But either way, I was stretching on the floor, on the carpet here in the bedroom, trying to get a good deep stretch in, trying to keep everything moving around there. My knees are making some cracking noises this week, and so I'm trying to work on that. And the next thing I knew, I was awake again, and I don't know how long I was asleep for, but it was a little while. So that was just a Saturday nap, which, 42 years of age, taking naps without expecting it. I'm not super surprised about myself when it comes to that. It's fine. It's almost good. I wouldn't say it's good that I'm just napping without really realizing it, but it is fine that happened. Tonight's agenda: finishing the Vayeate. We already did the Mercurius. I've got it right here. Hey, Aristofan, welcome. Thanks for using the notes. So we got the Mercurius here. The Vayeate we've done a lot of. We're going to finish that up. And then we've got the Zedas Gundam. Sorry, it's not a Gundam. I said that before too. The Zedas High Grade. It is a mobile suit. It's like the secret hidden boss. It has a transformation that doesn't look that great. Its cockpit is already built into its chest, so it's never going to look great in flight mode. But it also is cool. It's goofy looking, but also cool, which I like. The Zeta Gundam is a different thing. Yes, that might be. I'm thinking of the Zeta Gundam in my head when I say the Zedas High Grade. So a nice afternoon siesta through the hottest hours of the day. Yes, dirty. And it wasn't super hot here in South Carolina today. Also, hi, dirty. Welcome. But it wasn't the coolest day I've had in quite some time either. Okay, yeah. So we're working on the model kit. We're going to talk about anime because 2 series that I was watching this season have ended as of today. So we'll talk about that. I got some wrestling stuff from WWE and from AEW to talk about. A recommendation of something you should watch, which we'll save till the second hour when we talk about games and such. I'm going to talk some yang about Twitch users, not Twitch the company, but some of these my fellow streamers need an attitude adjustment, in my opinion. And then also, there was an announcement of an anime reboot coming out next year. And I have fucking thoughts on that. Lots of anime reboots or continuations have happened in the past few years, which is weird. Like Tokyo Mew Mew, new, and Bleach continuing. But then also like Fruits Basket restarted and actually told the full story, which is incredible that they got to do that. But also, like, this one anime is getting a reboot that is going to be more faithful to the manga, which is not the thing about it being a reboot that I have a problem with, and we'll get to that. Because someone did be like, it's faithful to the manga, though. And I was like, that doesn't matter to me. doesn't matter to me. All right, let's see. All right, I'm gonna reply to my tweet. See if we maybe get a few more friends to come hang out with us because friends are good. It's nice to have people watching what we do when we stream. No, the Trigun reboot I'm not mad about per se. I think that's interesting. And visually it looks kind of cool and weird. I don't know if you should be doing Trigun. I think it's a strange choice because Trigun feels very much of its era and feels like a... Also, I don't know if Vash the Stampede works in 2022. Oh yeah, Dirty. They're doing a reboot of Trigun. Yes. There was a teaser trailer came out a couple months ago. And it looks weird, and I kind of like the new design for Vash. I think it's based on the reboot of the manga. Or maybe the manga is a prequel. I can't remember, but there's a thing that it's based on, which seemed interesting. Yeah, so it's like a prequel. My thing is, I don't know if Vash the character works in 2022, just the same way that Orphan in 2020 or 2021, whenever that came out, the Sorceress stabbing Orphan, I felt like didn't work. I felt like that was a mistake to make. Because Orphan felt very 90s, and I think Trigun's going to feel very 90s, and Vash is going to feel very 90s, because our shonen protagonists are different now. Vash is a badass for such a little amount of Trigun. Like, if you took all of the very cool, badass Vash scenes, it would be such a small percentage of the show. We should actually get into working on this. We're going to go to the overhead. Boom, overhead. It's such a small portion of the show that I don't know. I'm going to toss out another anime to see if it's magically announced as a reboot. Dirty, as far as I know, the Big O, there have not been a reboot or a reissue or anything like that for the Big O. Big O fucking goes places, and I respect the places it goes for. Beyond the actually awesome, just like fucking style that it had, just so much it just oozed charisma, that show. There is a big model kit. You're not wrong, Glassbrook. They're doing a model kit reissue, I believe, or remodel, like remold, I believe. Don't quote me on that information being accurate because I kind of glanced at it. But anyway. Vash is neither an accidental hero nor a complete and total badass. He's a complete and total badass that goofs around a lot, pretending to not be as cool as he is for fear of alienating the people that he is trying to save, and also to continue his, don't fucking kill people policy. And I don't know if that character works today the way it did in the 90s. Because for most of Trigun, Vash the Stampede is one goofy-ass motherfucker. And I don't know if that's going to work. Now, let's just get into it because we're talking about anime anyway. Here is the announcement of the reboot that made me go, you don't have to do everything, you assholes. They're rebooting next year, and it will be more faithful to the manga. Rurouni Kenshin. Kenshin is coming back. And maybe you're saying to yourself, well, Pat, I really enjoyed Samurai X. I don't know why I would be displeased by this news. Kenshin's coming back. That's fun. It's a completely different studio, and none of the original voice actors are coming back, but that could be cool, and it could be cool. But Watsuki fucking sucks. The guy what made Rurouni Kenshin. He was arrested in 1997 in Japan because he had a lot in his possession, had a lot of pornographic material of either actual young women or people pretending to be young women. And he was arrested for that. And his manga was canceled that he was working on. Maybe it wasn't 97. I can't remember the year. I'm going to look it up. I think I might be wrong on the year that he was arrested, because that doesn't make sense. It would probably be 2017, maybe. Yeah, it doesn't make 97 doesn't make sense at all. I'm going to look this up. Let's see. You going to tell me about this in? Yeah, here we go. Hey, guess what? It's 2017. I wrote 97 down. I was mistaken. I realized that's wrong because it was 2017, and it was DVDs of footage of naked girls in their early teens in his Tokyo office. This is from his fucking Wikipedia page because it is notable. Because it was 2017 and he was working on a serialization of continuing stories of Kenshin. And that was put on hiatus. And then in February of 2018, Watsuki was fined the equivalent of, at the time, $1,500 US. So 200,000 yen, which at the time, as I said, was fucking nothing. And then he came back and he resumed making the manga. And that's it. I apologize. I wrote down 97 in my notes, but I meant 2017. That didn't feel right at all because I was like, well, that's too early for that to happen. So yes. So, as you might imagine, I will not be participating in the enjoyment of Rurouni Kenshin, the series. Because, no fucking thank you. And, look, am I saying that the early works that were made, that exist out there, that if you find your old VHS tapes of Samurai X, the OVA, that you can't enjoy those? I'm not saying that. Am I saying that it feels fucking gross that $1,500 is all it takes to continue to have a career and to get a second anime adaptation of your work? Yeah, I think that fucking sucks. I think it's shitty. I think it sucks that it will be on Japanese television. I think it fucking sucks right now that definitely 100% Crunchyroll will pick it up. Or Netflix will pay a lot of money to get it. But it's going to be released. There will be a subtitle. There will be a dub of it because it will make money. And that sucks. I think it sucks all around. And as I said, when I retweeted this last night to make the thing of like, oh, that fucking sucks. Like, you don't have to make reboots of things, including certainly Kenshin. Somebody was just like, well, it's going to be more faithful to the manga. And I was like, that's not my problem with this. I don't care that it's going to be more accurate to the source material. Fuck the source material. It doesn't need to exist anymore. We can move on from the source material. Dumbass, dumb bullshit. We don't need to be cool about it. It's a pretty good story. Also, one of the reasons why Kenshin is good is the Japanese voice actor of Rurouni Kenshin, or Kenshin, I should say, who is not going to be the voice actor for this. Because it's just like, I don't know, I think that's one of the best parts of that. And if you're not doing that, then what are we doing here? What are we fucking doing? Some weird ass shit. So yeah, that's and that is my current opinion on the reboot of Rurouni Kenshin and how I don't think it should fucking happen because it seems like a very poor decision to do it in the first place. But that's just me, maybe. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. And paying a fine makes it all good, makes all these problems go away. And, you know, it's just like, well, you know, you get charged with a crime, you pay a fine for the crime. Your best friend, Oda, writes a glowing review about your comeback and supports you. And everyone likes Oda, so everything is cool. It's weird. I don't want to be a bummer, but that bummed me out. What can I talk about that is better? Let's talk about the good and the bad in professional wrestling. Professional wrestling. Because there is some good and some bad in the world of professional wrestling. And I will tell you about some of those things in like a moment. Wait. Sorry, let me make sure that's right. Did I put this leg together correctly? Sorry. Gotta do that. Yes, that is right. Okay, great. Sorry about that. So, kudos to the WWE. A weird thing to say, but a truthful statement. In my opinion, the current ARG that the WWE is trying to do is good and weird. A couple weeks ago, I think it was actually just like a week ago, at live events, house shows, and during SmackDown, during commercial breaks. So not airing, it never aired on television. This is only things that are happening in the arena. During like a commercial break, when there was nothing going on, because usually if there are matches, then there's wrestling still happening. But there wasn't any of that. The house would play White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane. But just the vocals. And then when Grace Slick would say, "Feed your head," all of the lights around the top of the ramp would turn red. And people were like, what the fuck is this? What's happening right now? And wrestling fans like to know what's going on immediately. So you do a bunch of theories. You're like, what was that? Why was it just a house show? What's going on? And then on Raw, there's a QR code in the background. Because Triple H loves QR codes, it seems like. So there's a QR code. And it's this little video that plays, and there's a rabbit, there's some symbolism and some stuff, and there's like a date, which basically was like the date of last SmackDown, and then there was a thing with like a location, which is the town they're going to be in Canada next week, and look, it's probably Bray Wyatt. And there was some like conversation that I saw some people having where they were mad that the WWE has it. It's like, this is taking so long. Why didn't they just have him come out last week? And it's like, because there's a lot of people that don't know what's happening. They're doing something cool. Let it be cool. Because I need to make sure I'm explaining this for folks that aren't watching WWE stuff or aren't paying attention on Twitter to random bullshit. Michael Cole hasn't said anything about it. There's been, on the live air shows, they've been like, hey, a weird thing happened during the commercial break. Or, hey, there's a QR code back there. Weird. They're not treating the audience like they're foolish or simple or don't understand things. They're doing a cool thing, and they should be recognized for doing a cool thing instead of like, hey, 2 hours ago we saw this, or eagle-eyed viewers, and we're going to show the stuff on are tweeting about this and whatever. They're just letting an ARG happen, and it's so antithetical to what I think of when I think of WWE. Like music we've never heard before plays, and a wrestler comes out that we know from another company, and Michael Cole has to be like, oh my, we know who that is. And you at home might be like, I don't know who that is. Who is that? But in this case, it's just like, yeah, it's Bray Wyatt probably. And it's cool. I don't know. I think it's fucking neat. This White Rabbit shit is cool in my opinion. I did tweet a photo about it, which was a live feed from the satellite feed for Raw, because that is just a thing that you can watch. Some people can watch, and I have a photo of that. Let's see, can I just drag it? You don't let me drag it? Yes. No, it disappears. I forgot. It disappears. I have to save the photo onto my desktop, and then I can grab the photo from the desktop and drag it over. But yeah, that's from the satellite feed. And people are already doing the fucking thing. Like, that just looks cool as Grace Slick is singing Feed Your Head with no music because it's the acapella like track. And it's just cool as hell. But yeah, that's the satellite feed of it. And yeah, people are getting into it. And we'll probably find out what that is next SmackDown. And I'm excited because it looks neat and weird. I had dinner with my dad Wednesday, so I had to dodge Dynamite spoilers and was kind of confused for a bit, thinking Bray Wyatt was coming to AEW. Because it is, so as much as Tony Khan says he doesn't like spooky bullshit, he hires people that are spooky. He doesn't say the word bullshit, but he doesn't like spooky stuff in wrestling, but he hires people who do spooky things in wrestling, which I find very funny, that he still hires those folks, even if he says he doesn't enjoy it. But yeah, no, this is a cool thing that WWE is doing, and that is weird. It is weird they're doing something so cool. Also, Sami Zayn continues to be one of the best things in wrestling right now. His weird relationship with various members of the bloodline, the various Usos and Reigns of the world. Got a new shirt called Honorary Us that's going to sell very well. Going to do gangbusters. When Sami Zayn turns face and starts going after members of the bloodline, the crowd will come unglued because the crowd wants good things for Sami Zayn because Sami Zayn fucking rules. And it's nice. He's going to get cheered next week because he'll be in Canada, and as a Canadian born resident, people love him. But also, it's going to be real good when he finally gets that like no more, can't take this anymore, or when they turn their backs on him fully, and he has to figure out what to do and get saved by, I assume, Kevin Owens, and then they go on a tag run together, because that is the thing that Kevin Owens has really wanted to do with Sami Zayn, is get those tag belts and have like a tag run. And that would be nice. I mean, he's with Gargano right now, but Johnny Gargano is going to turn on Kevin Owens. It's coming. They're going to feud. So eventually you can do that. Other wrestling things. Hey, someone that once said that my improv team was fucking funny is undefeated in AEW. And that's a weird thing to say. I came to that realization today. I was like, oh yeah, well, yeah, I know of Action Bronson, the rapper, the chef, the entrepreneur, the host of different travel and food shows, that only really started pursuing his rap career when he got injured in the kitchen and he can no longer work at his father's restaurant, and started then going gung-ho on his rap career. because he had to make that money, had to get those dollars. Why won't this piece fit in? This piece likes to pop out right now. There's no good reason for that to happen, but this piece doesn't want to stay in there. But anyway, Action Bronson wrestled in a tag team with Hook, who is the son of Taz, and they defeated a very good tag team. And it's weird to say that, but Action Bronson loves goddamn wrestling and has been training. He trained at the gym. He trained at a New York gym that has trained a lot of very good people. But the story goes that in 2013, 2014, I want to say, I was in an improv group based on a class, and we did a form called, we called the show The Improvised Philip K. Dick, where we would get a suggestion of like a fake name for an Phil K. Dick novel, and then we would do like a very loose structure where it was very weird and very abstract, but there were basically Philip K. Dick novels agree to the reality that are presented. They very rarely turn the reality on their heads and be like, actually, like occasionally it's characters like, oh, this was this all along, but the world that the characters embody, usually Philip K. Dick just creates a world and then has the characters live in that world. So that was the improv form. Anything someone said about the world, we considered to be true. No one was lying about world building. And so it was a really fun way to yes and incredibly weird scenarios and play in a very fun world. It was a good improv form. And we played at a place called the Producers Club with a couple other sci-fi groups. And one day, I was outside the venue after, on the street. People were coming and going. There was another group up. And I am distinct as a person. Imagine me with more hair and not a bandana, but I'm still a distinct person. I was wearing a loud anime t-shirt, and I was recognizable as someone that had performed in the show. So I don't know why this piece won't fit in here, but I am going to do something to make it fit, which is I'm going to use some liquid cement, and I'm going to jam it in there, and then it won't be a problem. So anyway, I finish the show. I'm outside talking to a couple people, and I hear, "Hey, big man," and I look, and there's a guy that's about my height, weighs a bit more than me, lots of tattoos, and I'm like, "That's Action Bronson." Okay, and he goes, "Hey, big man, your team's fucking funny," and I was like, "Thanks." He goes, "Yeah." And that's it. Wanted to tell me he thought so. And then I turned to the person that I was talking to and I said, "That is a very good rapper." And now that rapper has a 1-0 record in AEW. He also does the theme song for Hook. If you're like, why is this happening? But he loves wrestling. And also, AEW will book just about any rapper that claims to enjoy wrestling. They love having rappers around. There were like 2 different rappers that came out to be part of the show on Wednesday, and also another rapper just in the audience. Westside Gunn was just there. He's been part of it before, but he was just there. And then also, obviously, we had another rapper on Friday in someone's corner, and then also Action Bronson wrestled, and it's weird. Like Shaq, yes, all the best rappers in the world. It's weird. I do know that Nyla Rose is trying to convince via Twitter, is trying to convince Lil Nas X to do something, which would be unbelievably cool. Because it also would mean that Nyla Rose got to be on TV, and she's a very good wrestler and former AEW champion, and does not appear on television. It would be a weird thing for Lil Nas X to play Nyla Rose out to the ring, but it would be fucking great. And also, Megan Thee Stallion occasionally notices that wrestling is good because there are cool black men and women doing cool shit in wrestling. And both the WWE and AEW have been really trying to get the Stallion to like come out to a cool wrestling event because, hey, you're very popular. What if you liked our thing? It's very blatant. But every once in a while, she will like retweet like Bianca Belair doing some cool shit or like a Keith Lee thing. And it will be like, this is dope. And it'll be like, yes, it is. Shaq did Glassberg. No, your joke was good because Shaq is a rapper because he has had albums where he raps that have sold copies. And so he can call himself a rapper with no problem. Somebody renewed their subscription or started a new subscription and didn't notify us. And to you, I say, welcome. And you could hit that notification button if you wanted to so that we all know that you became a subscriber. But you don't have to. We got to work on the weapons. We are body complete on this kit. It's time to work on the weapons. But yeah, so that was my Action Bronson story. Hey, welcome, Spen. Speaking of, Keith Lee did a moonsault in that as well. Here's the thing about Keith Lee. He can fucking move in various ways that are unnerving and incredible. Keith Lee, unfortunately, did lose tag belts. I understand the claims. It's good. Bowens, this was on Wednesday. Bowens being the first gay champion in AEW's history. Is fucking kick-ass and rules. Also, I love that Lee and his tag team partner, Swerve Strickland, they went to a school in New York. They went to like a middle school where there is a wrestling club and like talked to the kids, and they were there as the champions because it was the day of. And that shit is unbelievably cool. That is just a cool thing that wrestlers get to do sometimes, where they just get to be like cool superheroes. And I just think that's neat. It's swell. Let's see. Some really bad table bumps at SmackDown. Not SmackDown. Rampage. Some real bad table bumps. Apparently, Julia Hart is okay because she got pushed off and into a table to go through a table, but really she only went through a very small part of it head first and then crashed into the guardrail, to which Brody King, who is part of her stable, tweeted that her hat is fine. She has a very nice hat. She is a witchy woman, as a few people have jokingly pointed out. She has a very nice hat. And then also Darby was supposed to go through 2 tables and went through 1 table. Honestly, I'm thinking about getting a similar hat. I mean, it works for her. She pulls it off. I don't know. It's a good hat. I don't think I could make it. I think I would have to fake it and not make it. But it's a good hat. Also, hey, the Great Muta showed up. The Great fucking Muta is on his like farewell wrestling tour and showed up to help out Sting and Darby. Of course, Great Muta has wrestled against Sting many times. And now Sting is going to tag with Great Muta. And people dug up this thing that Moxley said where he was like, hey, it's Muta's farewell tour. How about 3-way, and you got on one side you got 3 guys, and then the other you've got Great Muta, Sting, and Darby Allin. Now Darby Allin, as of right now, is not part of it, but fantasy booking basically, Moxley just kind of fantasy booked that match into existence, and that's an incredible power. Oh no, I was not talking about Ludacris. I'm talking about the Great Muta. He's a mist spitter, and he's got a fucking dope mask, and he's a spooky wrestler, and he's great, and he is very old, and you can tell that he is very old, but it rules that he showed up. That was cool. You should look up Sami Zayn, Dragon Ball Z, and watch, not Sami Zayn, sorry, Sammy Guevara, Dragon Ball Z. Sammy Guevara had a custom intro that looked like it was on Newgrounds in 2010, and it's shitty on purpose. So it is shitty on purpose, but it's like him as like Goku, and it's terrible looking. It's unbelievably terrible looking, and I love it. I do not like the ending of said match with Eddie Kingston versus Sammy Guevara. Eddie Kingston got the win, but he would not release the hold. He would not release the hold, and so the head referee, after allowing 3 matches to end shadily on Wednesday, on Friday suddenly has a backbone and reversed the decision and disqualified Eddie Kingston's win, making it a Sammy win, and then Eddie beat up a bunch of staff. And I assume that soon Eddie will address his enemies. And I do think that my hope is that it goes on to Eddie fighting whoever the fuck Eddie wants to fight, but it doesn't. My big hope is that it doesn't involve Eddie Kingston having to fight Sammy Guevara again, because I don't want to see that. I don't know. I liked how it ended. Loved how staff did not rush to get out there. Yes, staff being like, we don't want to do this. It's Eddie. What are you talking about? I thought that was great. It just sucks that it was like, you know what actually sucks? It would have been one thing if it just happened, but Tony Khan tweeted out on like Tuesday or on Thursday. He was like, there was some poor officiating on Wednesday, and I'm urging, the head referee to tighten things up. So Tony like telegraphed it, which I thought was bad. Oh, I read more. They didn't care to come to Sammy's help. No, last word. To me, it read as, oh, I don't want to touch Eddie Kingston right now. I am scared of Eddie Kingston. But I do like your theory as well. I do like your theory. That's not a bad theory either. That they didn't want to rush. Hey, Lord Crashend, and welcome. So my hope is that Eddie Kingston goes on a rampage and gets to fight good people and has great storylines. And it feels like they're not going to be putting him in any sort of belt situation. But eventually you got to fucking put a belt on Eddie Kingston because he rules and he does great work. Eddie has been part of AEW's suicide prevention because September is Suicide Prevention Month, and Eddie is a fucking tough man, talking about feelings and getting help and doing all that stuff, and that rules because there are people that feel like they're a failure for asking for help, and maybe they will listen to Eddie Kingston. A man who is not currently capable of believing or understanding when fans tell him that they are still around because of what he said. He is not comfortable with that yet. I hope he gets to that place someday where he can feel accomplished for that. Because Eddie Kingston talking about it, writing about it, speaking about it, not only honors the memories of people that he's lost, it also does help people he'll never meet. Which is gotta be humbling and also like fucking cool. So big props to Mr. Kingston doing that work. I hope he gets cool matches, and I hope he doesn't have to fight anymore against Sammy Guevara. I would love for that to be done, although I bet it isn't. Let's see. Table bump Sammy's bad on purpose. Action process at Kingston. I think that's all the wrestling things I wanted to talk about tonight. All the stuff that was like happening in wrestling that I thought was pretty cool in the past 2 days. I guess NXT wrestler LA Knight, who has been working as Max Dupree for Maximum Male Models. It's definitely being kind of teased that he might be giving up that character. They might be doing a refresh on that character, which I would not be against. I do like maximum male models because it is silly for character. It is silly and good for some of the wrestlers involved, but I think he is an uber talent, and it is odd to have him be doing. He's a great wrestler, and he only has so many years left to wrestle in the ring, and it feels weird to do that. And once again, I mean, this happened on Wednesday, but I will reiterate, I think it sucks that Chris Jericho is the Ring of Honor champion, because that match was bad, and he is old, and I think that it's weird, and I don't like it. And then he was still on, he's the fucking Ring of Honor champion, and he's still on fucking commentary for Rampage, and I think that sucks, because I don't like him as a commentator. So, it's not all good. There are things that I am not super keen on in the world of professional wrestling. Because I'm human. Sometimes I don't like things. That doesn't look right, though. Oh, okay. Go low. All right, great. Let's see. So, I saw this thing. I didn't engage with the tweet itself. I don't know I don't know anything about the person that tweeted this, but it made me think about this as someone that Jericho doesn't need a belt, but I did enjoy Shivani giving shit about honor. Yeah, that was all right. I didn't hate that. Oh yeah, Jungle Boy versus Ray Fenix was fucking good. That's a good ass wrestling match. If you were like, oh, I'd like to watch a good wrestling match this week, I can definitely recommend to you a fucking very good wrestling match, which was, of course, Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Ray Fenix. It was really fucking good. Anyway, I saw someone tweet about how that they don't like the bikini and hot tub streams, because they take views away from hardworking gamers. That Twitch is about gamers and not that. Which, one, Twitch is about entertainment, as you see from me and my 2 to 3 times a month playing video games, but the majority of my streams are me doing this, building model kits. One, Twitch is for a lot of different kinds of streamers. And two, you weren't getting those streams. Those views, you weren't getting them. They don't magically go, oh, all of my favorite bikini streamers aren't streaming tonight. I guess I'll watch some random ass dude play Fall Guys. Like, no, that doesn't happen. Also, Twitch doesn't incentivize those like, you have to search those out. They're not on the front page. The front page is people who don't need people to watch them, and they're on the front page. That is an actual issue with Twitch. Look, breaking terms of service, all of that, I get it. If people are abusing that stuff, certainly I have an issue with that. But, like, I don't care at all. I never have. Because if those streams didn't exist, then those same people that are mad now would be mad at women that have cleavage. Because it's not about the games. It's about having cleavage. And any other fucking thing that they can hide behind instead of admitting that they're sexist and mad. But Pat, you can't deny that they would be more entertaining if you put together gunpla on a hot tub. Look, I will admit, stunt streaming is a time-honored tradition. And if my stunt was, hey, I'm Pat Baer and I do this silly thing, and one of the silly things that I did was to stream, yeah, I mean that would be very funny if I was building gunpla in a hot tub. It would be good. Yes, it would be a tough drop. That would be hard. You'd hope that every piece was floating and you could just get it. But yes, you have to be very careful. You got to get one of those tables that like you can put your drink on in a pool and just build on that, I guess. You need a net around the table. Yes. Look, it wouldn't be easy, but it's doable. All right, so is this like that? Yeah. All right, got that going on there. A lot of stickers on this thing that you'll never really see, but I'll still put them on. Tubeless stream, indeed. Lego might be better, Lord Crashington. That might be the better way, is doing Lego in a hot tub. But anyway, in general, my feeling is, like, you do you. You create your community. Look, obviously there are streams out there that I am not in favor of, but those streamers, it's not the that they're in a hot tub or that they're wearing something that you think is a blatant attempt to draw in viewers or whatever dumb shit people are going off about. Obviously, people that hate raid, that send their viewers to other channels to be assholes, and then show that on their channel. All of those kinds of fuckers, I'm not in favor of. Just about any stream that like advocates for gambling, I'm certainly against, and that kind of thing. Certainly, I do have an issue with that, but like, I definitely don't have an issue with people who are just like, I don't know, I'm wearing a t-shirt, I'm playing video games, and I'm conventionally attractive. Like, sure, you do you. Whatever you want to do. It's like, oh, it'd be so much easier if blank. It's like, no, it wouldn't be. It's just as hard. Everything is hard to do. Building an audience is hard. Keeping an audience is hard. Also, streamers that do that kind of content have unnecessary and unbelievably shitty demands hoisted on them by their fans who expect it to be a campsite. That the streamers who complain about those people never will deal with in their lives. They will never run into an issue like that. They will never be treated that way. They will never have demands made of them that way. They will never face that kind of scrutiny. So it is frustrating. I'm not mad that our friend Harold out there is watching another stream tonight because it's people he really likes that do one Saturday a month they do a stream. So he's not here. He might have other reasons not to be here, but I know that's the reason why he's not here. I'm not mad about that. I'm not mad if people are like, oh, well, another streamer I like is streaming, and so I'm going to check that out on Monday. Like, well, Monday is the only night that Mary Kish streams, so I'm going to go watch that. Like, sure. You do you. I'm not mad. I don't consider those like viewers that were taken from me by anybody. It's just people are watching other things, and it's totally fine that they're doing that. I would love it if more people watched what I did, but I'm not mad at other streamers because they're not here. I have been demanding hot tub stream from you for ages now. Yes, I know, Chill Hardman. I know, buddy. Hey. Also, hi. Hey, buddy. Nice to see you. We talked wrestling earlier. We're not talking wrestling at the moment. But I watch both you and Mary on Mondays, twice the fun. Hell yeah. Pat does get mad if I'm not here. I always try to show up. So I will say this. It does my heart good when people that used to be here all the time reappear in the stream that I have not seen in a while. That makes me very happy. When some of our old friends like Asmo or Mr. Bob come in. I like that. I like seeing that. Zorbs came back for a little while at one point. That was very nice. And when we get our new regulars and they come back, that's very fun. I like that. But you all don't owe me anything. And I've tried to make that very clear, that I am thrilled to have you here, and I don't expect you to always be here, but I am grateful that at any point in one of the time that I have done this, you have been like, yeah, I'll watch some streams. I'll subscribe. I'll hang out. Makes me happy. The Saturday streams that you do are the same time as Acquisition Inc. streams during PAX. Yeah. Oh, yeah. During PAX weekend, you got to watch the PAX shit. That's cool stuff that you want to check out. I understand that. I totally get that shit. When I move my Wednesday streams to Tuesday, there is a Tuesday, and I think I'm keeping. I don't know yet. I think I'm gonna keep this going. I like Tuesdays right now. There's a Tuesday in October where AEW Dynamite will be on Tuesday instead of Wednesday. There will be a couple people that will want to watch the whole of that, all of that, and they won't be here. It's like, okay, sure. But I actually do think I am going to keep doing the Tuesday streams, my bonus stream on Tuesday instead of Wednesday, because I kind of like that, I think. I don't mind that. I like having Wednesday off because it's like the middle of the week. It's hump day. And I kind of like having that Wednesday off. I don't know. Doesn't really affect me too much either way. Like I said, there'll be like one thing. I also like having that 2 hours to watch Dynamite with my friends in Discord and chat with them about it. That is just nice. That's a nice time. Let's see. We'll do that in the second one. All right. Real briefly, Thursday was an anniversary. Thursday was a big anniversary. September to December is Monday, Thursday night football for some folks. I mean, not me. Yes, especially Thursday night being like, Thursday actually does hurt me more than Monday football does, if you can believe that, because not everyone has a way to watch Amazon Prime Video on their TV, so that if they're watching Thursday night football that's on Amazon Prime, they're watching on a computer and then probably not watching Twitch. So actually that does have a bigger impact on streamers in general. But yes, certainly football does kind of hurt a lot of people that are trying to make entertainment on the week on those days. Okay, so Thursday, speaking of Thursdays, Thursday was the anniversary of Pizza Rat. Pizza Rat is 7 years old. There is a Wikipedia page for Pizza Rat that barely mentions Matt Little's name and does not mention my name, and that's okay. Pizza Rat is a weird thing. As I've said before, the weirdest thing about it to me was that it went viral at all. Now, Matt was smart, Matt Little, who filmed it, that pizza holding rat. Matt filmed it and then put it up on Instagram, and then eventually put it up on YouTube when it started blowing up on Instagram. Matt did send the Instagram video to Gawker and Gothamist, who focus on New York stuff, because it's a very New York story. And that is how it got picked up, is I believe the Gothamist post had an animated GIF they made of the Instagram thing, and that was on Twitter. And that, first off, the animated GIF blew up before anything else did. And then eventually the video as well. And it's very strange and great. And then, as I said, the weirdest write-up about Pizza Rat is, and yes, Lord Crashington, 7 years ago, there was a rat. There probably is not that rat is probably not with us anymore. That is an assumption you could make, certainly. But anyway, so we got a bunch of write-ups in some places, and Matt got interviewed in a bunch of things. I got interviewed in like one thing. It was fine. One of the better things about it was that the reason why we were at the First Avenue L train stop at that time was because we had stayed late after work. It was a Sunday night, and we had missed the pay-per-view that night. I don't remember what it was. It was September. It might have been Survivor Series that was early. I don't remember. But it was a pay-per-view. And Matt and I stayed and we watched that pay-per-view. And then we were like, oh, hey, check out this rat. So at the time, a friend of mine was writing for the WWE website, doing like interviews and updates and all kinds of stuff for them. And was like, hey, Matt, can I interview for you for the WWE.com website? Because I know that one of the reasons you were there is because you stayed after work to watch wrestling. And Matt was like, sure. So Matt got interviewed in there because that's just good content. Like, that's just good content to be like, hey, this viral video that you're all talking about, this viral thing that we're all chatting about, here's how it relates to the WWE, is a thing that the WWE loves. They love that shit. They love that shit. So anyway, that's my favorite thing that in that article, Matt goes, so me and my buddy Pat were watching the pay-per-view, and then we left the pay-per-view, and then we were, that's when we saw the rat. And that is just a fun thing. All right, so I got this wire here. I got to include this wire. One goes in this here. One goes in like this. And then they kind of fold up into that. So I forgot that you would know. No, this was I'm 99% sure this was a Zach interview that Matt did. Because I should also say, not only did we get not only was it because the WWE was involved and they liked that shit, but also because Zach Linder was writing for WWE.com and is a UCB boy and did UCBW with myself and Matt Little, the comedy wrestling league that I help run. So when Linder heard that it was related, he was like, good, an article that my higher-ups will probably like because it involves a viral video, it's sensation, and this is good for my job. So we were also doing Zach a favor by having this be a story that he could be like, hey, check out this story. We were also doing him a favor, which is funny to think about. Yeah, because he had content. Yes. So yeah, Zach, who now does social media stuff for JetBlue, which is weird and cool. All right, so this is gonna go. This goes like this, and then this goes. How does this connect? Oh, there we go. All right, now he's got to build. We're almost done with this kit. I'm going to finish it, and then we'll take our pause for the cause and talk about ways you can support the channel, and I'll do all my ad read business there. And then we will start up our next model kit. I never figured out if Linder liked me or hated me. Yeah, it's hard, buddy. It's hard to say. Zach and I went through a lot of different things where I wasn't sure what was going on with him. I will say this, that Zach is a good dude that often did not act like a good dude. That is my opinion on that man, that I've had many interactions where I was like, after eventually a thing would be said and be like, oh, well, that's not how you said it, my friend. And then things will be fine. So that, in my opinion, that is probably where things went, where Zach just said a thing without actually thinking about how that would go. And you were like, hey, why were you being an asshole right now? But you didn't say, hey, Linder, why are you being an asshole right now? And that's the difference. I would say that because we had a relationship where I was fine with going like, hey, man, what the fuck does that mean? And he would go, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I would go, okay, it didn't sound like that. So, all right, let's clarify. Great. Now, I'm not like that with everybody, but I am like that with people I have to consistently work with on a free project that takes a lot of energy and time and effort. I am definitely that way when doing that. But as like a coworker thing, I'm not that guy. Never been that guy. To be like, hey, could you clarify this weird thing you just said? Anyway, we're going to wrap this up because we are almost done with this kit. And then it will be time for the pause for the cause, where I will talk about ways you can support the channel and all that good nonsense. All right, so this goes like this. So now the weapon here can sit on the backpack like this here. Whoops. And then the arm will sit here and the gun will sit there. So I'm still in South Carolina right now. I was up in New York briefly in August just to get to my P.O. box and also to go to a couple of meetings with some people. And I saw a wrestling show, which was fun. Went to go. I saw Eddie Kingston wrestle, and that ruled. I haven't seen him wrestle in years, so that was cool to go and see that. That was the House of Glory show. Also, at the time, I was like, "Oh, this card is shaping up. This is cool." And oh, good, Karrion Kross got hired by WWE, so he's not going to be at the show. That's fun. But then also, oh, you were at this town? Oh, I'm sorry. Also, one of Malachi Black's last public appearances. Malachi and Brody and Buddy were all there. So I got to see Malachi Black wrestle in a tag match, and that was fucking cool. Because who knows the next time people will see that. That was not the reason why I was there, but it was a great other one. Yeah, this was a Terminal 5 one, the House of Glory show, Terminal 5. Yeah, Eddie Kingston was in the main event, and it whipped ass. All right, so this is going to go... This attaches like this. Okay. Sorry. This does not fit well in this hand, but it is a cool big weapon, so we will get it in there. But this is not perfect, this particular thing that we're doing here. But yeah, that was a cool show. I would say it did whip the llama's ass. It was a very good wrestling show that I was happy to be at. But yeah, this does not fit well. So we're not going to do this part of the weapon, because just getting this weapon to stay in the hand here is being very annoying. We are going to take a pause for the cause in a moment or two. I'll talk about ways you can support the channel and go through all that. Then we'll start the Zedas Gundam, or sorry, the Ace High Grade. I keep saying Gundam because I'm thinking of another model kit. The Zedas High Grade. We'll start that kit. But yeah, this 2-pack is now completed. I think I should just put this weapon on the backpack. I don't want to do that, but I think that's the best option because it doesn't really want to stay in the hand, and it's going to fall if I don't do that. So let me find the piece I need. Just over here. But yeah, that was my first wrestling show in a while because of, the world. But that was a good ass wrestling show. So I was glad I was able to see it. All right, so let's put this over here for a second. Take that down. This goes in like this. And then this weapon goes in like that. Yeah. All right. So that is our cool weapon. We're just going to do a photo like this of it. Put it on its back. And we're done with this kit. Let's do this over here because y'all should not be able to see my passcode because it's my passcode. All right, there's that, and then together the twins, not identical twins, but they are twins, and that's gonna do it for that kit. So we'll get this there. Get ready for that. And take that out. But right now, then you learned that they're hoarding prepackaged muffins for Continental breakfast in the freezer in their garage. Yeah, Dirty, sometimes you just learn about people. Yeah, sometimes people tell you a thing that they don't think is weird, and you're like, well, now I have context for you and your whole fucking deal. I love those. I love those moments when you're like, oh, this is your thing? Okay, great. Now I finally fucking know what your whole deal is. That's lovely sometimes. Sometimes it's bad, but I do find it good sometimes. All right, so this is the pause for the cause. I will be talking to you for a couple minutes here about ways you can support the channel and what I do here. It'll only take a couple minutes of me talking to you about those things. But this is a good time to do that. If you are currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote in the chat. If you are a tier 2 subscriber, you get the blue emote, and you can throw that in too, me as Goku. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money, your credit card or debit card, or your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime linked with your Twitch, use that. If you're not going to use that token for me, please use it for somebody. You could gift a sub and join the gift sub leaderboard. You could do bits and coins if that's something that you'd prefer to do. That's another way to support me here. It's September, so up until the 30th, you can save money by subscribing. And the more months you buy, the more money you save, which is nice. Up to, like, I think 6 months or something. Ironhide jumping in here with a pun joke. Would a ghost eat spaghetti? Spaghetti. Thank you for that. But yeah, that is a way to support me, is through Twitch here. You don't see ads. You get cool emotes. That is another thing that you can do. Again, we'll just go through these quickly and then get back to building, because I got to do my ad reads, because I am able to do this stuff because of your generous support for you and people like you. So I got to do that. I have a Patreon, patreon.com/PatBaer. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. You get stuff for doing it. None of it is physical objects. It's all, video things and posts, and voting. There's some voting. Yeah, it's pretty good. Also, I have a YouTube channel. Subscribing to my YouTube channel is, of course, free. But if you wanted to, if you were like, I would like to support you financially, Pat, via YouTube, well, I have memberships there. You can join, and for as little as $2, you get my Wednesday videos out on Tuesday, which is nice. That's just a thing you could do. And also, watching my videos through ad set, and watching the ads also supports me, because it all goes into that. Those are monthly ways to support me. But there's direct ways. If you just want to do a one-time, hey, here you go, let me help you out. You can do a direct donation to my coffee, or through PayPal, or through Steam Elements. And everything that I make through direct donations, through YouTube, including AdSense, through Patreon, and through Twitch, all goes into a fund, and I buy model kits with that fund. I would not have been able to complete the Vayeate right here without your support, because that was a premium Bandai kit, and I had to buy it with your generous support of funds, which is awesome. Now, the next thing that I am starting tonight, the Zedas High Grade, I was gifted that by someone who is chosen to be anonymous, but they purchased that off my Amazon wish list. Because if you buy something from my Amazon wish list, or the other ways to get a wish list, it jumps the queue, because that's the least I could do as a thanks, would be that if you went so far as to buy something for me, that I would build it before the other stuff I have in my backlog. We'll take a look at that Amazon wish list real quick there. I've got Lego sets and model kits, like high grades and master grades, inexpensive kits, very expensive kits, kits that are perpetually on sale, kits that have free Amazon Prime shipping, kits that just look cool as hell, all kinds of different things that you could buy, and then I will build on stream. And then, again, I will make a video for YouTube about how cool that thing is that you bought. At the bottom of it, there is some gear, because it's nice to have some gear, including I put a cutting mat, because it would be probably nice to use a cutting mat. So I did include that, because it's nice to have a few things there. And I'm going to trade out, eventually I'm going to trade out that chair, because it's gotten expensive, and I don't want somebody to buy me a $60 chair, because there's probably $40 chairs that are just as good. So I'll look for that. But eventually I would like to get a different chair than I am currently using. But yeah, that is a way to support me, is to buy something, and then I'll build it on stream. So I have my Amazon wish list. I also have a Throne wish list, because it's nice to have alternatives and have something that is not Amazon. That's a more curated list. Go check that out. And then also, you could buy a gift card to USA Gundam Store, and then you get your gift card code in an email, and then you take that gift card code and you send me a DM on Twitter, or a whisper here on Twitch with the DM code, or the gift card code, and then I will use that gift card code to buy something at USA Gundam Store. That'll be good. So you could do that if you wanted to. A way to support me that doesn't cost any money is to join my Discord. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. Discord, it's pretty all right. Our Discord's nice. We had Lego from Lashbrook not too long ago in the build photos channel. That was cool. All right, I got a couple video links for you to check out. I will have a new episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club, which I recorded this past Tuesday. That'll live on stream. That'll go up on Monday. But if you missed my last one and you would like a primer on the concept of anime music videos, I had a YouTube video about that. And you can watch me talk about the 40th anniversary of anime music videos. And then Do You Remembaer is an ongoing video series where every week I read a Wikipedia article and then do my best to explain what was said in that Wikipedia article and have it be entertaining. And this week, my Do You Remembaer is about the song September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Because the first lyric is Do You Remember? And my show is called Do You Remembaer? So I decided to do that. Do You Remembaer, the 21st night of September? And also, that video released this past Wednesday, which was September 21st. This is great. That is just fun. That is just fun for me, and I thought that was neat. Anyway, we're going to talk about some anime, and then we'll do some video game and other entertainment recommendations. I need to drink some water right now, very badly, and so we are going to dramatically transition back to the overhead, get into this new model kit, and I'm going to drink some water right now. All right, let's get this kit going here. We're going to have to put in, we're going to have to change some stuff here probably. Lots of polycaps. This last kit had only like 4 polycaps per build. This has a ton of polycaps because this is an older kit. This is from the year 2011. So there will be only a couple stickers, which is nice. There will be next to no English in this booklet. This booklet is also small. It only has, the color pages are not part of the build. They are just like, hey, look how cool this model kit is in color. But then the instructions are all completely and totally black and white. Except, oh no, I'm sorry. There's one color page. My apologies. And the color page is for the transition to make it its flight mode, which does not look good. It's just true. But yeah, this is the final villain in Gundam Age's mobile suit. It is not a Gundam. It is a mobile suit, though. Again, this is 2011. It is mostly black and gray. And there's the only marker we would use is black, because we won't do gray on gray. So we don't need to put the markers up here, because I am only using the black marker for this entire build. There is no reason to use another color. Because, yeah, we'll use the hands. The yellow hands are so good. There's like one clear piece here. There's a light gray and then the dark gray. And we won't have to do much, because I'm not going to put black on this because it's just not going to show up. Like, I'll show you here. You know, I'll hit this spot here. There's no point. So this will be a very easy kit to put markers on, because I'm really only putting on the light spots, the very light plastic. So we'll put that there. Just 4 here. So not a lot going on. 4 runners on this kit. Not a big deal. Nice, quick, easy build. Just do that there. Yeah, this should be a pretty straightforward model kit assembly. Although, as I said, we also won't use all these polycaps. Like, there's a lot of polycaps here that we probably won't need. Yeah, there's a bunch that we won't use. This is just the, for the era. This was made in 2008, so this was just like around the years they went and used these for a lot of mobile suits. Probably almost all of the high-grade Gundam Age kits probably used this particular polycap set. All right, now that we talked about that and we're ready to go into it, let's talk about some anime while I start this new model kit. Today was the 12th and final episode of 2 shows. There was the new season has started today with a new show, which I will talk about on Monday. So Monday you will get my thoughts on I'm the villainess, so I'm taming the final boss. It'll normally be a Saturday show for me, but I don't have a lot to watch on Monday, so I'm going to watch that for Monday. And instead, I watched the last episodes of Teppen, Laughing Till You Cry, and Black Summoner, both Crunchyroll shows. Even if it is not super about the act of stand-up, there was a little bit of talking about manzai in this episode, which is the art of stand-up in the show. This is a show about girls who want to be famous stand-up comedians and do manzai, which is a form of comedy where you are... it's hard to explain. Basically, usually it's two people and there's someone who is like presenting a funny scenario, a weird world, and the other person is asking leading questions and responding. And sometimes the worlds are funny, but also usually it is the person who is reacting that gets a lot of laughs as well. That is a big element to manzai. This show, it was trios of young ladies, and they represented stuff, and it was this whole competition that was happening. At the end of the last episode, the group that is kind of the front runners, Young YY, which have the name Young YY because every girl in that group, their first name starts with Y. That's just that was their thing. And they're all from the same area. There was a lot of like regional jokes in this show that were tough for me because I only know so many regions of Japan. A lot of local references in this one. But Young YY, they weren't going to the finals. Basically, they were in the first round, and everyone that survived that went to the finals, and they were like, they're the only team that didn't advance. But they found out that there was a thing called the comeback round, and everyone that had been disqualified was in the comeback round. There were 10 teams, and you did your material for a live audience that was watching at home on streams that could vote, and also the audience that was there could vote. So this was their chance to get back into it. So they were pretty amped up about that, having the opportunity to get back into it, which was great. They were going to go for it. And they went to go see this show where there were a lot of the other runners-ups, and they spent a lot of time introducing all of these wacky-ass characters, and they were only like some of the girls they were going to face. And they were from different regions of Japan, and I did not understand any of the references. I kind of understood one of them because there was another show that talked about this particular part of Japan, but it was like there was one group that was Americanized because apparently that part of Japan is very like into America. I think like that was a joke I kind of understood, but I didn't get a lot of the references at this part. I think for the most part I understood what was going on, despite it being subtitled. I think I was getting the jokes, but that one was rough. The girls are gonna do it and make it, but they're like. Also, Young YY had TV time because they were on a bad TV show. And so people were gunning for them. And they were like, you're not going to beat us. We're doing this and whatever. Turns out later, none of those groups that had all the wacky characters, none of them did well in their performance. Because all they had was wacky premises and costumes. They weren't bringing it. They weren't like getting it done. But our girls certainly were. So let's see. So we're working on here. The chest is also the cockpit of the plane, so it's going to look real weird as we build it, which is fun. I like that. All right, so we got to do we need D2 and D1 and D3. So let's get those out. Anyway, our girls, all the other teams that are competing that we've seen, because there were 5 groups of girls, they all show up to give their thoughts, and they're like, hey, you should do this kind of material and use that material. And they actually decide, all right, the thing we should do for the show is we should write material about all the other girls and the silly things that happened. So we're going to do that. But there's a traffic issue. 2 competing television shows that we saw. There's a lot of callbacks in this episode of like characters that made one-off appearances. And in this case, it's like 2 different TV shows that we knew from the show are created a traffic jam. So then our girls are like, fine, we'll get on the train. But then a movie is being directed, and they stole power from the power grid to power a giant knockoff Gundam, which looked cool in the show. And they're like, oh shit, the train is delayed, so they can't even make it to their show. And then something very fucking anime happens. Something very, very goddamn anime. They start doing their routine on the train, and people start recording it and posting it online. And then one of the live streams gets picked up by, because they get votes. And they're like, those girls aren't even here. How could people be voting for them? Well, it turns out that the people on the train are using their cell phones to vote. And then one of the live streams ends up on the broadcast. And people are like, that shouldn't count. They weren't there. They never made it in time. But their important lesson is reminded of people that, hey, there was a time where people thought that manzai was just people talking fast, and they said it wasn't really comedy. But the universal truth that all comedians know is funny is funny. And that's the most poignant thing that has been said on this show about like cute girls doing a thing, because it's that genre. In this genre particularly is cute girls doing stand-up. But that is a poignant thing that I fully believe that it's like, there's comedy art forms that I'm not good at, that I'm not like here and focused on doing myself, because I'm not like, it's not my style. But it's still fucking comedy. It's still just comedy. So I thought that was neat. Jizzle has been watching Digimon Ghost Game. It's basically a children's anthology horror show like Tales of the Crypt Keeper, but with Digimon. Yeah, when I saw that there was ghost in the name, I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And yeah, it's like a little like kids horror anthology. That sounds pretty neat. I did not watch that show, but I did think the premise was pretty fun. Anyway, so the girls get a special exception. They get to be in the finals. We don't see the finals of this, which is fine, because it really wasn't about that. It was about the journey, not the destination. And that's Teppen Laughing Till You Cry. Again, a show not really about comedy, but also this is now the second in 2 years that there was an anime about stand-up that like aired in Japanese televisions and maybe inspired the next generation of young ladies to pursue comedy as an art form. And that's fucking great, because as we all know, a thing that I will not shut the fuck up about is that anime, manga, and also anime have the strange, wonderful ability in Japan to be so good that it changes the culture. I've talked about how there's high school basketball because Slam Dunk was so good, and how camping around Mount Fuji, tourism in general around Mount Fuji, had a dramatic increase because laid back camp is so cozy and fun, and young people across Japan were like, I've never thought about camping. Yeah, we'll camp. And I think that's incredible. Or legitimately, Saga, the prefecture of Saga, has had a dramatic increase in tourism because of an idol anime about zombie girls that are so passionate about Saga that people are like, we've never been to Saga. And they have real places that exist in that anime, and we can go look at those places. Like, that is they had an increase in tourism because a bunch of zombie girls are just very good singers and are trying really hard. Anime is weird and great, and I love that. So it's possible that in 10 years, it's also, it's an anime about promoting Saga. The whole reason they are an idol group is to say, hey, Saga is great, and they succeeded because people are going to Saga because the girls are so great. The anime is doing what the what the characters in the anime were intending, the anime has done. So my hope is that maybe in 10 years, someone's going to say, I watched my Setsu opening act, or I watched Teppen Laughing Till You Cry, or I read, there's a manga about comedy that's deep into comedy, and I read that anime or that manga, and it encouraged me, and now I want to pursue stand-up, and I moved to Osaka to pursue stand-up. It is that is within the realm of fucking possibilities in this world, and I love that. That is a incredible thing, that just like a true incredible thing, that like anime is so good sometimes that it can like move the needle about things. It's one of the things I love about the medium. If not in the world, then at least in Japan. All right, we got to put this thing in here. For some reason, I didn't do this important step, which is putting the tail piece on here. All right, so more anime to talk about. Black Summoner, which was not my favorite isekai this season. One of my 3 favorites, I guess. Because my isekai life was really good. Isekai Uncle, unfortunately, cannot count because it did get, not canceled, but it got delayed. And it's restarting. And also, I haven't watched an episode of it yet because I was waiting for it to be over to watch it all in one go. But Black Summoner, our dude Kelvin. Hey, guess what? The guy that Kelvin is fighting is also a reincarnation. So at this point, we've met. This is now the 7th reincarnation on this world. Because the 4 heroes might not have died, but they were at least summoned. And then there's the Sion, who died and was summoned. And then our guy died and was summoned. And then this dude, Clive, we don't know if he died or if he was just summoned alive. But we do know that he's there and he's a summoner. Or he is a... no, he's a reincarnation. That's right. They talk about him being a reincarnation. So... that's fucking weird. There's just like a lot of goddamn reincarnated people from Japan in there. And this dude sucks. He goes on an evil monologue of like, we're not so different, you and I, and you have all this power, and what are you, blah, blah, because he uses charm abilities to make people his slaves, and he's working for an evil group instead of fighting them, and he's just like, I can do whatever I want here. And it's like, well, you still answer to a country. You don't actually do everything you want, but whatever. But that guy just sucks. The other thing that sucks about this episode is that some of the final fight, this big fight that is most of the episode, is done in very bad CGI. Like, there's a character that's always CGI because he's a guy in armor, so they always do CGI with that. And like that, I understand. I can't fault them for that. But this one was like, no, we're going to take characters that you've seen before, and for not all the episode, for some of this episode, those guys are going to, or those characters are going to have very different looks. They're just going to be like bad CGI models because that way they can do cool movements. The fight is mostly good. It's mostly pretty good. Except that sometimes it is just CGI. Also, he summons some golems, and those are CGI. And again, I get it. I understand why those would be. I don't like it. I don't have to pretend to like it, but I get it. Why they would do that. Because it is way more cost effective, and that way there's no delays. That show ran 12 episodes in a row without any issues. So I understand why they would do that, even if I think it is a bad choice. Because I think that in the future, that show's going to age very poorly and look terrible. Anyway, Kelvin hey, guess what? Kelvin has a scythe at one point. He's got like a beam scythe out of his staff, and that fucking rules. And he cuts through Clive's magic and also cuts through Clive. Just fucking decimates that dude, cuts off his goddamn legs. And then he's like, well, I didn't want to do this, but I'm going to finish it. Goes to kill him. Uh-oh. Hey, it's the next bad. We end on a cliffhanger where one of the high-ranking members of that government Tristan is just like, actually, here's what's going to happen right now. We're going to run away, which is a bummer. But yeah, they take off. And Calvin is like, well, it sucks. We won. Oh, also, the reason why they were at this village in the first place and fighting these people, eventually they didn't know at the time, the reason they're fighting these people is because Kelvin is, this is part of his rank S exam, so he can be S ranked if he defeats these people or saves this village, which he does, because apparently one of the elves that was there was actually the king of the Beast Kingdom in disguise. And he's just like, yeah, you did it. Congratulations. Hey, there's going to be an award ceremony in a few months, and there will also be a mock battle with you and some of the other S ranks. And then Kelvin is fucking psyched about this knowledge because he is a battle junkie. That is the whole thing. That is his fucking deal. This dude likes to fight. He is very excited about fighting. So he's just like, hell yeah, I'm going to fight these people. It's going to be good. And then there's a whole thing about the Ethel and like she's got feelings for him and he's not quite aware of that and yada, yada, yada. All the ladies want attention. They want him to praise them and tell them they did a good job and blah, blah, blah. And that's it. Now, if you watched this show, Black Summoner, and you were like, I would like to see more, there is a lot of manga. They have been slowly building towards an event that I feel like Kelvin must be seeing coming, and there's going to be a twist. But right now they are setting up this whole scenario where Kelvin is about to be murdered by somebody that he thinks is on his side, but his reality is not on his side. But I'm pretty sure that Kelvin knows that because it would be weird if he didn't. And I don't know. I don't know if there will be a season 2 of this show because there is a lot of manga they have not adapted yet, including the fights. It was very funny. I don't often read the comments, but I often read the comments on the last episode for this very reason. Because people were like, literally someone wrote, but it ends on a cliffhanger, so they have to give you the second season, right? No, they don't. Oh, what? No. The unfortunate truth is that anime exists to sell more copies of the manga. That's not the only reason, but it is a big reason. Like, people were saying that we might not get a second season of the Misfit at Demon King Academy. Even though they are in production of the second season of that, another season of that, because for health reasons, because he's fighting cancer, the mangaka had to cancel that manga. And the fact that you can only sell the manga that already exists if the anime has another season, that is tough. It is a tough thing to do. Need help with a project I have. Got a sec. Well, I'm streaming right now, so maybe Ghost. I guess you could ask a question and I can see if I can help you, but I don't know because I am streaming and building a model kit and talking right now, so I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? You're not disturbing. I just don't know if I can actually help you with the project that you're doing. You know what I mean? Like if it's like, hey, where do I start if I want to do this thing? Like I might be able to answer a quick question like that. But like, you know what I mean? I don't know. You can ask it. You can certainly ask your question, and I can see if I can be of help. I won't know. But anyway, that is long story short to say, I don't think Black Clover is going to get it. Black Summoner. I don't think Black Summoner is going to get a second season because they did not announce it. John says, have you ever ranked your model kits for the year? Yes, I did. There was a year where my Wednesday videos, this year my Wednesday videos are, I do I do a thing where I read Wikipedia for an article and then try to remember what I read there. There was a year where I was doing ranking lists. I was doing tier maker lists. And so I ranked like my favorite model kits and Lego sets from that year as like a tier maker list. So I have done that before. I occasionally will answer the question for my patrons because I do a Q&A every month for my Patreon. That is exclusive to them, and I have done like hey, here's my favorite kits from this year, or because those people ask that. So I have done that. I don't do it every year. Yes, so I did do that. Yeah, you take a look. Okay, so Ghost Rogue says, I am planning and building a Star Wars wall panel background with lighting, and I'm seriously struggling to find a source for the lighting setup. How the hell do I French hanger or whatever it's called again? I only apologize for disturbing you. So don't worry about it. You're not disturbing me. I am not a DIY person. Like I build model kits and I love doing it. And I build Lego and I've gotten pretty good at crafting, but I'm not what you call like my backdrop for this is those are just boxes of model kits that I've built or a couple model kits I haven't built yet. So like I don't know where to source lighting. I would say this is a weird thing for me to recommend, right? But there are a lot of good DIY Reddit groups. And I would say you should look at some Reddit groups that are do-it-yourself or DIY or home crafting projects or whatever. Like there are a lot of resources. There are a lot of, that are there and people that are very knowledgeable about like DIY crafting projects like that. Yeah, I would say that while sometimes Reddit is terrible, there are a lot of good crafting communities there that you could just like do a search in one of those Reddits and see what people are doing or ask the question, hey, have you ever built a display for Star Wars? Or, what's your favorite backdrop or whatever? And like see if somebody responds with something they've worked on. I would say that would probably be a better thing than me, who has not done a project like that. Because I focus mostly on model kits. Because also that's the thing I really love to do. So I hope that helps. I'm sorry I can't give you like a great answer, but that is not my area of expertise. Yeah, I mean like that. This is the level of creativity I have. Is what if I just took the box tops and used painter's tape to put them on the wall so that I have some kind of background. No problem. No problem at all. I would say that I like to be helpful, and I do. And also, friends, in general, if you do have questions for things, sometimes people have questions about the model kit I'm building or what I'm working on, or like sometimes people are just like, hey, where do you buy model kits? And like that is a valid question. Those questions come up on repeat because there are always new people around, and it is fine to have that. I know that some of you have been here for years, and maybe you've already heard my answers to those questions, but there's always new people. Yeah, I have painted one 40,000 Warhammer Grunt. I did it. There was a free painting like demo at a convention that I was at last year, and I did that. But I have never played Warhammer, so, and I think that's probably for the best because I'm not a super skilled painter myself. I do appreciate the work that people put in, but that's not something that I have ever done myself. Because nice. Yeah, I mean, like I appreciate it from afar. I think that is where I'm at right now, where I like think it looks cool, but I have not delved into it myself. But I can appreciate how neat it is. All right, so we gotta do this there. So right now we're working on the waist of our kit because once again, Even though it looks like the cockpit of a plane, this is the chest of our model kit. Very strange. We were able to know. Yeah. I mean, I know some people they really love the fine details of doing the paint, but that is not something that I have had a lot of experience or necessarily a whole lot of interest in doing myself. But I do think it's cool. Ooh, we doing anything? Okay, there we go. Okay. Army 40K is $200 and almost bought it until I remembered I need to pay for my dental surgery. Yes. Yeah. I mean, look, if you have bills, you should pay those bills, and then you can hop in and get some cool stuff. Okay, so now's the part of the stream where we're going to talk about things that you are playing or watching or enjoying. I always like to hear from y'all about what you're up to, what you're into. I myself, I want to recommend, if you have Amazon Prime, there is a stand-up special that you can watch for free on Amazon Prime. It is the stand-up special that is called People Pleaser. People Pleaser. And it is, on, as I said, on Amazon Prime for free. I mean, if you got to pay for Amazon Prime. But you can watch it there. And that is by the stand-up comedian Josh Gondelman. You may know Josh. You may not have heard of him. Josh Gondelman is a fantastic stand-up. He is a Boston boy, but also one of the nicest people in comedy. I miss seeing him because he was doing New York stuff when I was still there. I miss seeing him regularly because he is such a delightful, funny performer that I do miss the chance to see him live. I watched that yesterday and then watched it again today. It's a very good special. So if you're up on, if you got Amazon Prime, you can watch it for free. Check him out on Twitter to see. There are other places to purchase the video if you want to do that or rent it. But yeah, really good. But I want to hear from you. What are you playing? What are you watching? What are you into right now that you're like, Pat, this is the video game for me? I am about halfway through Return to Monkey Island. I love it. I am not planning on watching. I am not planning on streaming myself playing it. This is a video game that exists for me on my own time, and it is enjoyable. It is very good. So I would say that if you are looking for a cool video game and you like an old school adventure games that are pretty modernized, there's a good hint system in there. I would say maybe you would want to check out The Wonderful World of Return to Monkey Island. Now, is there anything else that you are, you folks in the chat, are you playing, you watching? New expansion coming for Hearthstone mini set, I should say, not full expansion. So I'm looking forward to that. As someone who is that really likes playing Hearthstone, and I have enough gold to get that expansion, and so I'm excited about that. I haven't really looked at the cards for the mini set yet. I will just, once it comes out, I will see what people that I watch on YouTube and on Twitch, what they're playing. I thought about giving Letterkenny a shot on Hulu as something to halfway pay attention to while playing games. Yeah, I think Letterkenny is good. You might end up paying a lot of attention to it. I think it's pretty damn solid. John, yes, you're playing Gundam Evolution. Yes, Gundam Universe is the line of Gundam Universe is their line of action figures. If there's something is in the Gundam Universe line, and so sometimes I've seen what appears to be a model kit, and I'm like, ooh, that looks good, and then I realize it's not a model kit; it's the Gundam Universe line, and it's the action figures, and I'm like, that's not a model kit, which is fine. Thank you for the follow, appreciate that, Ghost Road. Let's see. Yeah, we got people playing that. Yeah, I have not played any of Gundam Universe since the beta. I played the beta and didn't really love it. because I think I might be done with Overwatch kind of games. Because I played a lot of Overwatch, which is not necessarily a style of game that I love, but it was the game that I could play with my friends who were really into Overwatch. And I played a lot of that. And those friends have not moved to Gundam. So I don't have like people in my gaming group being like, hey, Pat, you got to jump in on this. You got to be the Barbatos and hit people with your sword and get some melee. I'm going to be the Pale Rider because I tried that. Or we need people to be a gun tank. Lord Crasher says, played some Euro Truck Sim 2 and working on completing a live event to get some neat freebies for delivering stuff to a convention in Hanover, Germany. Get that live stuff. Last person says, too many games are out now, but I've started... You started watching One Piece. Hell yeah. And it's wild to experience early One Piece again, where like devil fruits are a myth and Nami stole stuff. Yes. 100%. Early, I mean, it's such an old anime at this point, but early One Piece is just so weird because it's so small. The world is so small in there, and you're like, people are like years away from ever hearing the word hockey. Like, Garp can use it, one would assume, but never does. And you're like, why doesn't Garp use hockey all the time? Not hockey. And it's just weird because Oda has not introduced it to the world yet, if he knows what it is. And it's just like a strange thing where you're like, why did Shanks give up his arm? Shanks is one of the most strongest people in the world. Why did he give up an arm to that? He could have killed that thing. Why did he lose an arm? Storylines. Can't really explain it. Early One Piece is wild. Steam is... Oh, yes. Vampire Survivors is now $5. So Vampire Survivors is coming out of early access and being a full release. So they had to increase the price so that later it can go on sale, because you can only fluctuate the price of a video game so many times in a year. So you will see that as things end early access, they go up in price a little bit for their first release so that they can go on sale later. That is a tactic that apparently works very well, but still, it is worth $5. I don't even really like that game. It's not really my thing, but I do respect it a lot, that Vampire Survivors rules. So I do appreciate it, even if it's not really my kind of game. I have played it a bit, but... All right. Yeah, I think we're almost done with tonight's stream. We're going to hook this up here. How does this go? There it goes. Like that. Okay. All right. So this went in like that. Oh, I need B11. This kit, until it comes together, is one of those kits that just looks kind of funky. But once we get everything together, it'll look rad. It's just right now it is kind of odd. Oh, yes, I believe you're right, John, that Vampire Survivors is on Game Pass right now, which is always good to check if you have Game Pass to see what games are there, to see if there is a game that you are like, oh yeah, I think this game rules. Yeah, this will be probably... I mean, this kit is weird, but this will still probably be a pretty fast build because I don't have to panel line much of anything, because most of it is very dark gray. So, okay, we got that together. That's good. This moves around. All right, this is somehow our chest for this model kit. Yes. Gotta explain that scar. All right, that is going to do it for tonight's stream. I want to thank everybody for choosing to spend a little bit of your time here with me as I built a model kit and finished one model kit, started a new one, and hung out with people, which is always fun. Thank you all so much for being here. This is not the end. I mean, it's the end of my stream, but we are going to raid. That is how we end every stream here. We always go on a raid, and we are going to go see somebody doing some cool stuff out there and see what they're getting up into, who is doing things. I don't know how long they're streaming. Let's see. I want to go watch Liz. My friend Liz, aka Liz Star, has been playing Silent Hill 3, which that's an interesting game for Liz to be playing. But let's go hang out. Let's go watch a spooky game with Liz, because Liz rules. I don't know. They might be they're playing with somebody else. So let's go. Let's see. Oh, yes, they do have a guest, which is fun. But we're going to go raid Liz, because Liz rules. They've been going for 4.5 hours, so they might not be streaming too much longer, but they do longer streams than like we do. I think we're watching I think we're watching alternative endings of Silent Hill 3. I don't know. This might be a bad idea for a raid, but I think Liz rules, so let's go hang out with Liz. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you come back on Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern as we continue working on the Zedas high grade. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye, everybody. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye.